Welcome to Property Nomads. Welcome to episode 382. The housing alert: gap between sold house prices and asking prices is a staggering 22% at the moment. Before we go into why that's the case, just a reminder that our friends at Progressive Property are holding their flagship event, Multiple Streams of Property Income. It's in London. It's the 16th, which is tomorrow, 16th, 17th and 18th of June. It's a fantastic event. We've been a few times to London one and the Peterborough one. It's absolutely wonderful. You'll meet loads of investors. You'll learn a lot about buy-to-let, serviced accommodation, deal packaging, mindset bits and pieces as well. It's a fantastic networking opportunity and a good time to get out there and see what opportunities there are out there. Multiple streams of property income, 16th, 17th, 18th of June. The link to get access to the event is in the show notes. If you're watching this on YouTube, it will just be in the box below. So housing alert: gap between sold house prices and asking prices apparently is around 22% at the moment. This has been dragged from the Daily Mail. Also, this is money.co.uk. So the report is that average asking price of new listings on Rightmove was apparently £365,000 in March, but the average sold price on the land registry was £290,000. Also claiming that a third of all properties on the market have had a price cut, according to Rightmove. So let's also look at why this might be the case. So why is the housing market, say, teetering on the brink, but why are there issues bubbling up at the moment? Well, a couple of things. Number one, we've seen the Bank of England base rate go from 0% to around 5% in the last 12 to 18 months. That's an unprecedented hike. We've had pandemics, we have had lockdowns, all that sort of stuff. We've had governments trying to stimulate the housing market through stamp duty relief, incentives to first-time buyers. And once you've taken all of that into consideration, currency printing as well, trying to inflate the asset bubble that is housing, there's only so much that can take. There's only so much that can go up. That's why in the last 2 to 3 years, generically speaking, house prices have gone up. But now, because of the increased interest rates, etc., we're now starting to see the market might have hit a peak and it's starting to come back down. Now, I said back in 2021, I think it was, that there would be a lot of issues in housing because of the amount of currency that was being printed because of furlough and lockdowns, and the amount of cash that was just being handed out by government and generated by the Bank of England. And I said on an episode a while ago with the founders of Savoy's Properties that I thought 2021 would be very dangerous for the housing market. Now, I'll hold my hands up. I was completely wrong on that. I think I was just jumping the gun a little bit. Even a broken clock is correct twice a day, as they say. But all of this is starting to have an impact now. And this is why we're seeing that what a home is listed for and in comparison to what they're selling for, there's a big swing. Mortgages have become, I would imagine, a lot less affordable to most people because of the increase in rates as well. Going through the article, says, and you know this, I know this, comparing the two indices is not perfect. Land registry is a bit slow. It's useful, but it's a bit slow. It does say that the size of the gap still suggests that homeowners are cutting their asking prices significantly. Well, yes, I imagine if you're a homeowner and you want to try and cash in maybe at the top of a market, you're going to want to try and do that. But you have to remember that people that are now buying, if they're going to need mortgages and so forth to purchase, they're going to struggle with that a lot more. I will actually be speaking Mark Champ from Wolf Financial back on the podcast in the next week or two. So listen out for that episode. Mark will go through things as well. So in a nutshell, the 22% percent difference between what things are being listed for and what things are going for, it's not a surprise. People are finding it a lot more difficult to either, from an investor point of view, finance deals. It's not impossible, it's far from impossible, but it's certainly become a lot more challenging at the moment, to say the least, again, through economic factors that we've already discussed. And it's probably only going to get worse with more rate hikes, I would imagine. I believe that's coming. I believe the Bank of England, the ECB, even the Fed over in the USA, I think they're going to continue hiking rates until they think they've got inflation under control, when I don't think we're anywhere near that happening. And they're going to continue to rise until they ultimately break the market, which is not a good thing. We did see last week that the EU has come out and said, yeah, we're in recession, and Germany's a bit of an issue at the moment. That's not for this podcast, but I think that starts to tell you everything that you need to know about what is going on at the moment. It's a lot of crazy stuff out there. Feel sorry for estate agents and all of this. Going back to the article, a couple of things here. Sometimes, as we all know, agents like to overvalue things sometimes, and this is where they sort of shoot themselves in the foot, especially if you're selling and an agent's valued at, say, £300,000, and now the best that someone's going to offer you is 240 or 230. You feel like you've just lost out on 60 grand, hypothetically. So that's never a good thing, but this does happen. Sometimes overvaluations do happen. And again, in a rising market, that's not a bad thing, but when the market's in a sort of stagnant / declining phase like it is at the moment, and it's going to continue moving forward, the residential market, it makes estate agents look bad, but it's all part of the art of negotiation. But in a nutshell, this is probably going to continue going on for a while. Again, from a homeowner's point of view, you're going to want to cash in as best as you can. From a buying point of view, there's always deals to be done, but the cost of finance has obviously increased. The numbers, if you're looking at it from a buy-to-let investment, the numbers have come in a lot more challenging. So from an investment point of view, that's why we're seeing more property onto the market as well, because of all these changes in the rental space as well. That's probably not helping this article either. A lot of crazy stuff going on, but we have to ask ourselves why this is happening. And again, it's down to all the economic factors that we've discussed before, that we've spoken about on the podcast. And these are the things that we've got to bring to light. This is why we changed and tweaked Property Nomads to start talking more about this sort of stuff, because we don't want to sound like we're people that are constantly being taken by surprise by things that we feel we should know stuff about, i.e. the macroeconomics, the bigger, wider world of what's going on, how that's affecting property and other things moving forward. As I mentioned at the start, multiple streams of property income in London. The link to the event is in the show notes. Please go and check that out. And as usual, please subscribe to the podcast. If you're on YouTube, press that bell button, subscribe. That'll give you more notifications. We're pushing out much more content moving forwards. We feel that we've got to get our message out as well. We haven't been doing a great job at that in the last couple of years. I'll hold my hands up to that. I take responsibility for that. We've now got to push our message out even more content, deep diving into a lot more things. So we appreciate your patience, and also say, in order to help us help you, please share the podcast with as many people as you can. Like us on YouTube, subscribe to notifications on YouTube, and let's all push this out as much as we can. As usual, I'll see you in the next video.